Let's talk about today's scenario in COVID-19 pandemic. What are the different sectors that are affected positively, that are affected negatively, and that are affected neither positively nor negatively? So the first, we have different sectors like enterprises technology. Now in today's world, cost has to be reduced. Now in every sector, if we'll talk about the petroleum sector, right? We are not driving our car, or we are not driving our vehicle nowadays, right? Because of the lockdown. So the demand has been less, right? We are not purchasing new cars, we are not purchasing new bikes and all, right? So these sectors are actually uh, affecting. So what they are doing is they are reducing the cost. How they are reducing the cost? To reducing the running cost by not purchasing the raw materials, or to what they can do is they can reduce the manpower, right? In that way, what they are doing is they are reducing the cost, and which is an effect, right? Second is better business transparency is needed, right? So it is actually booming nowadays. We need the better transparency in the business. Nowadays everything is digital, and we'll talk about the contactless purchasing and all, and we used to purchase everything by card or by different applications. So transparency actually comes into the picture. Process become more automated. So we'll talk about more automation will be involved in the process. Yeah, definitely it has been automated. Now the next is supply chain and manufacturing has become flexible and capability become flexible and resilient. Now here, if we'll talk about supply chain mechanism, where we are, let's say I am the let's say a product manufacturer, and I am purchasing a raw material from one country, and nowadays you can see that there is no communication with one country, or so I have to increase my sources by which I can purchase the raw material from different. So I should have uh, I should have more global approach instead of just going to one country or another country. Now, technology wise, if we're talking about an ongoing process, ongoing project has been paused. So if you'll see different Indian government projects and all, they are in the pause right now. They are not talking about, or they are not creating, or they are not looking for investing more money to the project which is not involved by COVID-19. So that is done. So that is a negative part, definitely. Decline demand for new project devices or services. Yeah, so if the project is new project is not going on, definitely it is the demand is low. What is a positive thing? If you see the eighth part, there is many digitalization innovative, or the invention has been done right now. We are not actually we are not doing online grocery, but nowadays we do. We generally or different, you can say that startups and all, nowadays we have to leave the traditional approach of a startup, and we have to more go for the digital way of dealing. So different companies which are dealing with the technology, different companies which are involved in digital marketing, or digital way of handling the business are growing nowadays. So there is no effect in the digital divide. Okay, so there is a division of digital markets, right? So we are not purchasing the TVs, and we are not purchasing the different gadgets. Instead, we are purchasing those gadgets which are more applicable for COVID-19. So that is the phenomena which are taking place. Now, if we'll talk about IoT technology, so largely IoT network, largely uninfected. because it is generating the data which are generating 3 months back. The same data has been generated, so we can say it is unaffected. Technology roadmap get delayed. So definitely, if we are talking about new technology which is coming, which has to come related to IoT, has been paused, has been delayed, and more focused on related to COVID-19. Some different specific application of IoT we'll talk about. Then decrease in interest in consumer IoT devices has been decreased. More looking for the devices which is first of all remote asset access becoming more important nowadays. Remote access means the Zoom and all, where we are doing these type of webinar, we are taking the classes, we are actually educating the people. Or you can see remote accessing means remote login to our servers which are there in the office. We want to do the important work, so we are using that, or the virtual network we are creating. All those comes into this remote access, remote asset access. Digital twin help with scenario planning, that we all know that. New uses of drones. So nowadays, if you see that usage of drone has been increased, or usage of those robots has been increased. So what drone is doing? Drone is doing the monitoring. It is spreading the information to the contaminated, the zone where we cannot go, which is highly infected by COVID-19. The drone is taking the temperature of different people who are, let's say, standing in the balcony, or drone is taking the different monitoring, or giving the medicines to the paramedical or to the doctors, and giving the, let's say, the PPE kits to the hospitals. So that can be done nowadays with the drone, because yeah, it is a very good way of good application of IoT, which has been increased. If we talk about a specific IoT health application is increased, uh, if you see that many hospital in USA or in China, they are having those COVID patient has the band, and that band is generating the data of the temperature, generating the data of the oxygen that inhale, or taking the data of the heartbeat or the blood pressure, and in the real time it is monitoring, and if there is some problem, it will just give the alert uh, to the medical staff, and again it will be use of the drone or the robots which will help these patient, right? So is a huge application which will take place. Track and trace solution get used more. So tracking tracing is one more solution here. We are tracking the human being with, let's say, we have the app, right? Arogya Setu is a good example of IoT, where we can track the infected people and how many other normal people has a trace with the infected people. So is a very good application, and we should think on that particular direction. The smart city data platform are very much useful nowadays. How much people are above 60, or how much people are having the disease or the problem, and what area is the prone area, you can say, where the slum are more. All these things can be the data will be managed by the smart city, and that data is useful in today's situation. Increase in easy to install IoT. So easy to install IoT devices are there, then people are actually purchasing them. It is we'll discuss about it. Many things we'll discuss about related to this. IoT security and privacy. There is a problem in cyber. So many people are sitting in their home, right? And hackers are also sitting in their homes. And what they do hackings and all, right? So nowadays, the cyber attacks is taking place for the IoT devices. More hackers are actually activated in today's situations. Privacy get re-evaluated, right? My privacy means, let's say, if I'm putting my data to the application, let's say that Arogya, so I want that my data should be preserved. My data should be uh, private to me, right? No other people can know my private data or the health data that I don't want to discuss with any other person. But yeah, it is, you can see that neither increase nor decrease of the sense. It is more or less uninfected. Additional focus on security. Yeah, many people are doing that because of this, because the cyber attacks are more. So more focus is on security. People and relation, fewer IoT jobs are there. Yeah. So we just actually talked about different areas which are actually affecting or not affecting or increasing, right, due to COVID-19 pandemic. So these are different area that has been find out. Let's talk about post COVID-19 applications related to IoT, and we'll more focus on this because today's webinar is on that. And definitely, without knowing the basics, if we'll talk about the application, it is of no use. So let's talk about, so I think you can see my slide. The first is track quarantine. Like, this is the first thing that anybody is looking for, that if somebody is coming from anywhere and if is quarantine or not. So nowadays migration is going on, right, all over the country, and can we actually make effective of these quarantine, and can we track the quarantine when people has come? So let me tell you, or let me give more focus on this, and then at last we'll discuss many things. So this is a critical step to curb the spread of COVID-19 that we all know is is the effective quarantine will actually remove or the reduce uh, the infected people. So quarantine is the main thing. But how this IoT is helping on that? So many countries throughout the world turn to IoT and GPS enable app to track and when necessary restrict such people movement. So different companies like Russia, Poland, Singapore, or South Korea, they are the few countries who have gone into that particular route. There is one application, or the example of Hong Kong. They have started its quarantine effort from the airport. And what they do is, at the arrival of the passenger, were given a wristband along with unique QR. So there is a unique QR with the wristband, and then they can track their movement. And how they will track the movement? So the passenger will download an application that is called Stay Home Safe application on their smartphone and scan the QR of their wristband. On reaching the home, what the person will do is, the person has to take a walk around their apartment to to actually activate the device. So once they will do, the device will know what is the parameter of it, their apartment or the house, and then the device will be activated. And the basic technology is geofencing technology that they are using, and they are using different technologies like GPS, RFID, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth signals, and different cellular networks to actually enable that quarantine tracking. The second thing that is the application of IoT is pre-scanning or diagnosis. Pre-screening means uh, we all know that the health workers are very busy. These persons are doesn't have any time to attend our call. So while these hospitals and medical centers were quick to start this telemedic services to diagnose and answer questions about COVID-19, what happened is the waiting time of these calls are more nowadays because many people are looking for different queries related to COVID-19. So there is one examples that I can share with you. To counter this particular problem, software company collaborate with the hospitals and the medical centers to set up chatbots in their website and the mobile applications. So these chatbot, what they will do this, they will ask the series of questions to screen visitors accounting to the severity of their condition. This way, the doctor and medical staff don't have to answer the same question over and over again, and they can instead use this time to treat patients. So if you'll see the Arogya Satu app, when you open the app, they will ask you different questions. So it is a sort of chatbots, okay? And that has been designed with different doctors, and it is updated frequently. So this question will be updated based on the situation, what situation we have. And similarly, in different part of the globe, many people are using these applications, and this is a huge application of IoT, right? Third thing is cleaning and disinfecting. Now, cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting of these medical facilities is a very risky job, right? So anybody who is doing these jobs, definitely it is more prone to the infection of COVID-19. So there are different companies which are actually, what they are doing is they are creating the robots. These robots actually disinfect the surface by emitting high intensity ultraviolet light, which destroy the virus by actually tearing apart their DNA. They are Wi-Fi based and can be controlled through applications. Currently, they are being used in China, Italy, and USA. This is very much popular for cleaning and disinfecting the hospitals or the clinics and all. The fourth, very useful that we have discussed shortly, is innovative use of drones. Yeah, so for monitoring and enforcing to stay home in order to make the law and order, or to force people to be in there, we can do monitoring, we can actually enforce them, we can actually announce like this is the situation outside, you don't have to go outside. And if something it has been some changes has been done, we can announce through these drones without going to that particular infected area. Second thing we can do is de-infecting the highly contaminated hotspot, right? So that is also easily can be done by the drone. So drone will spread these solutions to that particular area where it is highly disinfected and we cannot go there, and infected and we cannot go there. So disinfection can be done very easily. Next thing is medical samples can be fly. Let's say if we have if I have a sampling collection booth somewhere, and let's say that 10 samples has been or 20 sample has been collected. So instead of sending through the vehicles, it will send through the drones, right? It is very quickly it can reach to these centers where the sample will be collected and being tested. Or we can send the quarantine materials like PPT, mask, and these gloves very easily. We can send it. Or we can check the temperature of those people who are quarantined. Let's say they are quarantined in the home. So we can easily go and check their temperature if they are in their balcony or outside their home. So there are tremendous applications of drone in today's situation. Is very much useful. Reducing in-home infections. So let me tell you some examples how we can reduce in-home infections through IoT. So we know that there is an increase of awareness among people to avoid touching vulnerable surfaces like doorknobs. We don't have to touch all again and again. Light switches, we don't have to touch again and again because the infection is there. Like the remote controls, because it has been touched by many people in one day, so we don't have to do that. So what is the alternatives to it? So without touching these things, particularly after touching the mails or the packages which comes outside, So it is very risky to touch doorknobs or the lights or these switches or these remote controls. So what we can do is instead we use IoT enable smart speakers, light, security system, etc., or different devices like Alexa or your Google Home and all, by which we can give the instruction to that you should increase or decrease the volume, or you can switch on or off the lights, or you can close the doors and all. You can, so all these things can be easily done without actually touching those thing and do the, yeah. So one example I want to give you is recently with the use of smart security system, uh, to request the delivery guy to leave the package inside his house while he unlock the door from its phone. So from the phone it can do the unlock, and package will come and it will just put it in your doorstep and you don't have to touch it. So this is a huge sort of applications of related to IoT. Smart filled hospital, right? This is another one applications of IoT. I'll let you know about one real-time example of it. So in early March 2020, a smart filled hospital was set up in Wuhan, China, we all know, to provide some relief to the exhausted health workers. And what they have done is, in this hospital, this is a perfect example of IoT and AI. So we can say AI IoT application, where robots are there. These IoT devices performed, or these robots performed all the tasks in the hospital, from checking temperature of incoming patient to clean and disinfect the area. They provide food and medicine to the quarantine patient, and even entertain them by dancing. Each patient wore a smart bracelet and ring, so their vitals like temperature, heart rate, and blood oxygen level could be monitored. If there were signal of infection, the medical staff was intimated, and even doctors and nurses wore these bracelets to capture early sign of infections. So a number of similar hospital has been set up in different part of China, and what we are thinking is in India also these type of initiatives should be there, so that the health worker should get some relief for unusual thing, like to go check the temperature of the patient again and again, and to give the food, to give the medicine. Instead we can do with the robot, or the disinfecting of the surface and all we can do with the robots. So all these are different applications, post COVID applications of IoT. We have some more like ensure social distancing. We can have some RFID enabled tag we can use, by which if we are coming let's say 1 meter in the range of another people, so it will give me an alert. That also can be done. Or can we make some application, uh, we install the application, and based on the Bluetooth and different all other different sensors, it will tell us that you are not maintaining the social distancing. Disinfecting beans. This is one another. There is another company in Chennai. So not Chennai, Kerala. They have come up with a UV bean, disinfecting bean, in which if you put the gloves and the face mask or PPE or other equipments, and generally in the hospital or the medical centers, for let's say for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, so it will just disinfect all those equipment to again reuse it, right? So it is a very good thing that these people are making, and they will tell us that in the real time it will tell us that how many equipments are there, how much more equipment can go inside it, how much time it will take for the disinfection. All those things can be done. Smart sample collection booth we can make the booth to be more smarter, we can do the monitoring of the people through previous. We can do that, and we can make it more smart so that the infection spreading could be reduced. Real time information during the spread of these infection, can we do that real time? Yeah, nowadays we have seen different apps which will, from which we are getting the real time information about the spreading of the infections, and that can be easily done by the the data which is generated, and the processing will be done, and based on the geographical location, it will tell us that in that particular district these many people are infected on all those things. So many other thing can be done here. Rapid COVID-19 screening, can be done the rapid COVID-19 screening in the public places like malls and different shopping malls, or different transportation like airport or bus stand, or the railway station. Can we do that? Yeah, this is one question, and this is the applications of IoT. Smart appliances and switches we can make for the smart home and the offices ready to install. And these type of thing, if we are inventing in today's world, so um, anybody can actually buy it, and they can start using it. So this is one of the great uh, applications of IoT in the COVID-19. So yeah, so now the house is open to all for discussion. If you have any queries, or if you want to elaborate anything, you want to add something, so you can give your comments here in the